welcome to Two Girls, One Book Club. Or Two Girls, Both a Hot Mess. Because, like, if you're watching us on YouTube, we look wrecked, dude.
It's been a day.
I'm so tired. I was at Raven's house earlier because I came here to eat snacks and watch Love is Blind.
Which we did.
While my children were at school, and then I had to go pick them up. I come back. I'm knocking on her door. She doesn't answer. I was like, what the heck? So I call her, and I was like, are you sleeping? She's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm at your door. She's like, how embarrassing. I was like, yeah, I've been here for a minute.
I was reading on my phone, and then I, like, fell asleep.
I was about ready to get on the doorbell and be like, Bryne, wake your wife up. Give me a key already. I'm always here. Especially on Tuesdays.
I left it unlocked.
Did you really?
Wow.
Well, every time I just try to open your door and just come into your house because I have no boundaries, I'm like, I'm locked out. I'm like, why? I thought you loved me. Let me in.
I'll just give you the code to the deadbolt, and then I'll just leave the bottom unlocked so
There we
anytime
go.
you're going to come over, and you can just and
Don't
I'll just
tell
hear
Brian. It's like, don't tell
Okay.
Brian.
So I didn't know that he followed our podcast TikTok.
Oh, I did.
I didn't.
Oh,
So we posted that
for
one
you.
about... It was, because we posted that one about the book haul, and we were like in bed that night, and he watches it and he goes...
I thought you were going to say the one about the praise kink. I was like, oh, no.
No, the
Embarrassing.
one about the...
Oh,
our book
because
haul?
it was mine. He's like, hey, Ashley, you've been a good girl. Here's a cookie.
You deserve this Dr. Pepper and a crumble cookie.
Oh, my
So
God.
we're laying in bed, and he watches it. And I hear us, and I'm like, that's me and Ashley. And I hear, book haul, and I'm like,
Okay, but we
So
did
then he
that
goes-
so
he goes,
perfectly. I was so proud of us.
why did you get books? And I was like, where did we get book exchange? And now they're still in my car. They're not on my shelf.
I left mine in my car for like 3 days because I'm like, I have to sneak these in when Eric can't see that I bought books. I don't think he listens to this. So.
That was my plan until Bryne watched the TikTok. And I was like, I got...
I don't ever think about that.
We're like,
Okay.
we got a dog yesterday. This is him. He's a Samoyed, and his name is Cal.
Now
As
we
in-
both have white doggies.
As in Kal-El, a.k.a. Superman, a.k.a. Clark Kent.
And now we both have crusty white dogs, so we can be as
Well, he's not crusty, Philip. He's soft.
No, that's just, he will be though. Don't worry.
He will not. He will be so soft forever and ever.
No, we are
Forever and ever.
two crusty white girls with two crusty white dogs. I'd say we looking real crusty right now.
So we decided to buy him Friday night. And then we were like talking to the kids about what we should name him. And Oliver goes, we should name him a cow. And I was like, no. And then we named him Cal. And now Oliver calls him Cow.
Cow. I like it. I went on a day trip, you guys, to Colorado. That's what my hoodie says today. On Sunday, I went to Grand Junction because my friend lives there.
Friends.
Friends!
Gosh, just chopped liver Austin over here.
That's all right. Okay, I have multiple friends that live there. My friend works at this cat adoption place. There is a cat there that is as big as my dog Maisie. And if you've watched our podcast, she's been on it a few times. But I'm pretty sure it weighs more than her.
Oh, Maisie? I was like, he's been on our podcast.
My dog! What do you mean?
Well, I understand now.
Because I think she weighs like maybe 20 pounds. He said that the cat weighs like 25 pounds.
That's a huge cat.
It is a massive cat. Anyways, so I thought of the funniest thing because I was like, oh, you should teach me how to make bread, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, Raven's gonna domesticate me, which is probably good because I'm like a feral raccoon. And I
we even
probably
got her a
need
raccoon sweater.
I thought you were gonna say we even got a rabies shot. I was like, I probably need
Rabies
my
shot.
rabies shot. What do you mean? There you go. Anyways, what book are we doing this week?
It was called The Power.
Isn't it called The Power of Love?
No, it's called The Power.
The Power. It is a self-help book by, I was gonna say
Rhonda, is it Bird?
Rhonda Ramsey. I don't know.
By Rhonda Bird. I was right.
What?
Also just called The Power.
The Power. But it's about like learning how to like let go of like negativity and like let love in. This book is like pretty similar. What word was it that I couldn't say last week?
Oh crap! What was it?
I think think I left it in the podcast. Wait, was it in the podcast? Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember now.
It was
Started with the S.
inconspicuous.
Inconspicuous. What do you say? It's
Inconspicuous.
inconspicuous. I was like, inconspicuous? Yeah.
But it's about like letting go of negativity, letting love in. I
like how you need to love yourself and love others, and once
Well,
you do.
Yeah. I'm still working on that, okay? I'm doing my best. It's pretty similar to manifesting, which if you know me, you know I'm all about that.
This is like the second book. If you've read The Secret, is what the first one's called, or you've watched it, like we watched. I haven't read that book, but I've watched the documentary. I think on Netflix or something. But that one really, really focuses on manifesting.
That was like the
I was like, "Are you dabbing?" You're like,
I was burping. Sometimes I do that. I'll go up to my kids and I'm like, but I'll like burp while I do it. I'm such a grown up.
oh gosh.
Anyways, I just listened to it on YouTube. The second one, The Power. But yeah, like I'm all about like manifesting. I do a gratitude journal every single day.
I've started doing one.
I actually already used mine up and I need to get another one.
Right.
Ever since I started doing like my gratitude journaling, I started this like 2, maybe 3 years ago. I feel like I've stopped seeing the world in such a negative.
Stop being so pessimistic.
I've stopped being so. I would say I'm more of a realist, but
pessimist.
Sure. I stopped like letting every little negative thing affect like my entire day. Like just recently on my trip to Colorado, I had to make a 2-day trip home instead of a 1-day trip. It was supposed to just be a day trip, like go there, hang out, go home. Instead, the roads flooded. It was like a complete washout, like crumpled parts of the road in the canyon I was supposed to take to go home. So I had to go all the way around, stop at my sister's house, and then continue the drive the next day. Which I could have been like, oh my gosh, this sucks, blah, blah, blah. What a negative thing.
Right.
But I was like, okay, well, it'll actually work out because Ellie left her glasses there.
Yeah.
And then I was able to get Ellie's glasses. I got to see my my nieces and my nephew. I saw my dad, and
What's he doing?
He's having a hard time. He cried a lot. I was like, you can't cry.
Does it all cry?
Yeah. His roommate's pretty cool though.
Oh, he's a roommate. Oh, good for him.
He's covered in tattoos, and I'm like, hey, Dad. Remember when you told me I'd look stupid when I was old with all my tattoos? I think your roommate looks pretty freaking cool. Also, just kind of sidetracked, that ADHD, probably. Anyways, my dad would always like get so mad every time I got a tattoo, right? Be like, why are you doing that? Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. You're gonna regret it when you're old. Blah, blah, blah. But then every chance he gets, he's like, Ashley, come here. Show him your wings. My sister's wedding. My dad's like, Ashley, turn around. Show him your wings. I'm like, Dad. But like, there was one time my dad was like talking to somebody at the grocery store. She was like checking out our groceries, and like talking to her about tattoos. And he's like, Ashley, show the one on your back. I'm like, Dad, we're in the middle of the grocery store. I'm not gonna like take my shirt off
for you. No worries.
Show this random lady my tattoo. He's like, well, you got a picture? And I'm like, no.
Like,
stop it.
I have a picture.
I'm like, that's like my least favorite tattoo. Luckily, it's never, like most of my tattoos are actually like never visible. Like sometimes the ones on my arms are, but like most of the time, you can't see them. They're all covered.
You never see the one on your ankle.
No, I do have one on my ankle. Look. I've had it for like 10 years. You know what? Never mind. It's there. It's a bag.
You're an anchor.
Me and my friend got these as matching tattoos 10 years ago.
Are you still friends with
Yeah,
them?
me and her just recently talked. She's like, are you still reading? Do you still like to read? I'm like, oh boy,
Let me tell you.
I was like, I have a podcast about books. That is how much I still like to read. So, but yes, most of my tattoos are covered. Because Bryne was like, oh, what does the one on your chest say? And then I tell him, he's like,
no regrets.
that is exactly what it says. And then I have my armpit wolf right there.
Bryne, why is it sniffing your arm?
Guys, sometimes I have to do that. I'm like, did I put on deodorant today? Sometimes I get to work and I'm like, I put on deodorant. I'm like, oh well.
Okay.
'Tis fine.
I've named her Armpit Wolf Jacob Black. You should do vampire in the other ribs.
That'd actually be kind of funny.
Edward and Jacob. Just make sure that they somehow make him sparkly. I don't know if they can do that, but we'll figure it out.
What was the one that I sent you? I sent you one. I was like, I'm getting it.
I don't remember.
But I don't know. Doing my gratitude journal has like changed my mindset a lot.
Right.
And then I also do a lot of manifesting.
Yes.
I'm a freak. So I have a little journal. It's called Letters to the Universe that I do. But I usually wait until like the timing is right. And I'm not gonna lie, like it's worked out for like quite a few things in my life. Like I don't like directly ask for like something extremely like specific.
Detailed.
Yeah, like I don't really want to like give examples because then I'm worried like if I say it, it's not gonna work anymore. You know, it takes
It will
away the
work.
magic. Yeah, I just manifest things and ask the universe for things, and the universe usually gives me things. Or like it's like putting me on the path to that thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I was doing YouTube before this, like vlogging and stuff, and I liked it, and I was like, this would be fun to like be able to do this as like a job because I really liked it. But I just felt like I was kind of getting bored, and I was like, okay, like I need something. And in the back of my mind, I was like, for a long time, I was like, I should do a podcast. Like I was like, I'll start one by myself. I'm hilarious. But I felt like, I don't know what the thing picked up on YouTube, but like I was like,
Oh,
okay,
that you were like taught.
Yeah.
You've been thinking about starting a podcast.
yeah, but I was like, you know, like who am I going to start a podcast with? Whatever. Enter Raven. We become friends. We bond over books, and then we start a book club, and then we start a podcast. And like, I feel like for me, this feels a million times more right than YouTube. So, so I've abandoned YouTube, and now I'm just
you were abandoning me, and I was like,
now I'm abandoning you.
you're like, peace out.
Which it sucks because I liked it more of like doing home movies of my kids because my parents didn't do that and whatnot. But it's like I still have the ones that I've done, and I can still
Do
make
more,
them.
yeah.
I just feel like podcasting is the right thing. Like
Yes.
this feels like the best decision for me. I feel like I am going to be able to grow it faster. It's not as boring, I guess, for me to edit. Like it takes me forever.
Right.
It can take up to like 2 days depending
On
on how long
how scatterbrained we are.
yeah, this one. We're only 30 minutes in, but there's not much about the book yet.
It's okay.
But I feel like this is like the right move is to do the podcast. And so but like I'd like manifest being like, I want to do something social media relevant.
Yeah.
You know? And now here we are with our podcast.
Right, and book podcasts are so like on the rage and stuff right now too.
But I don't know, like I've manifested like other things, and I feel like it's not quite there yet, but I feel like I'm headed down the right path. Because it's not something that you're like, I want this, and boom, you have it.
Right.
Like, it's not like an instantaneous thing. It's something that is like, you still have to put work in for. I think that's what
there
people,
can be like a lot of steps leading to getting what it is.
yeah,
that you've
and
been
I feel like
manifesting.
people don't, like, when they're like, oh, I'm going to manifest, like, my dream job or, like, owning a house, and they're like, I want it, and that's it. You still have to be like, you have to, like, let the universe know, like, this is what I want. These are the steps I'm willing to do to get that thing. Because, like, in my little journal thing, bless you. It's like, what are things you're willing to give up to reach this thing? And for me, I was like, okay, I'm willing to, give up, like my comfort things. Like, I'm willing to move somewhere else in order for the things that I want to come into my life. I'm willing to, like, let go of my current job, which I love so much. But if it's going to give me the next opportunity, I'm willing to let the things go that, like, mean a lot to me in order to achieve the next thing that I want.
Right.
Yeah. So, like, there's a lot of things, like, or, like, what are things that you're, like, willing to, like, accept? What are signs that you want from the universe and, like, things like that? And I have all those things, and I always get, like, super, like, giddy when, like, one of them pops up. I'm like, oh, something's happening. Which I know, like, manifesting is, like, I don't know, a lot of people don't believe in it. They don't believe in the universe. They don't believe in astrology.
Right.
I believe in all of that. I believe, like, you put it out good, you're going to get in good.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, like, I know that, like, you understand it because, like, for you, that's praying.
Yeah, and that's, like,
That's
what I'm
yeah.
religious.
Yeah. I am not. My religion is the universe, the planet, the stars, all that.
Yes.
Mumbo jumbo.
But, like, I totally understand what you're saying. But the thing for me is, like, something I've learned, at least for myself, is... Look at me being all Slytherin colors right now.
Look at me being...
Ravenclaw.
This is not the color of a Ravenclaw.
Whatever.
The sky.
Something I found for me, though, is, like, the more
I just want
specific I am in, like, praying or manifesting, the closer I get to what I want. Like, you said you like to be more, not, like, vague, but...
Well, like, specific, but you can't just, like... Okay, you can't just be like, I want a black Model S Tesla with white leather and blah, 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 blah.
Right.
You don't
So-
have to be that specific.
No, but, like, when we were looking for our house, because we found out...
Okay,
we
I'm
were
pretty
living-
specific about that for the most part.
Well, so, we were living with my in-laws. We found out I was pregnant with Oliver. We already had Alexandra. And I was like, we cannot live here in one bedroom with 4 of us and sharing a bathroom with 3.5, just because he was a baby, but like 3 other people. Like, this is not going to work for us. And I was like, we need some space. We've been here for 2 years type thing. And so then we started to look at houses, and I said, this is what I want. I want 3 bedrooms. I want a bathroom in the master. I was like, I want the bedrooms close together so that if something happened or like they needed me in the night, it'd be really easy to get to them. I wouldn't want, like, I don't want them separated by like a floor or several hallways type thing, you know? And so there were like a couple things that I was like, this is what I want. So we started looking at houses. We looked at a couple of townhouses actually, and we would just look at it and it'd be like, okay, we could do this, but then there'd be certain things that I'd be like, this just isn't really what I want. And then the more that we looked at it, the closer we got to like what I pictured. Because some of the townhouses or condos that we looked at, like one condo was on the 3rd floor, and I was like, no, I don't want something where I'm gonna have to be carrying my kids up 3 flights of stairs. And then we looked at a townhouse where it was 3 stories. Like, you'd go in at the garage and there was 1 room and a bathroom, and then you'd go up a level and it was like your front room, your kitchen, you'd go up a level and there's like your laundry and your other ones.
It's like my sister's house, like the master bedroom's the main floor, and then upstairs there's a bedroom and like a loft, and then downstairs there's 3 bedrooms.
Yeah, and I was like, no, I don't want that. I want them all close together. So then we saw this house, or I came and saw this house by myself with Alexandra and somebody who works with Bryne. And we saw this house, and it was like burnt orange, shaggy carpet with stains everywhere.
I've seen the pictures.
Our fireplace, it's white now because we painted it, but it was like really ugly, like rock color and stuff. Like, there were just some things that I was like, Ryan, we can't live here. Like, on the walls in my bedroom and in the kids' room, there was like built-in shelves on the walls that we'd like rip out and stuff. So there were just things that I was like, how is this even gonna work? Like, Brian stood in the shower one time and he goes, this has to move. Like, we can't use this, it's too short. Because it was like, he was standing there. He's 5'8", guys. He's not tall. And the shower head like was right at his chest, and he was like, how am I supposed to wash my hair? No. So there were just some things that I was like that's not necessarily what I was wanting, but I really, really liked the layout, that the bedrooms were close together. It had all of the things for me that were so important
that you could look past, like
that I could look past.
Well,
and then
fix.
Right, and then like this wall right here, I wanted it gone. I wanted it opened. And they were like, that's gonna be like $7,000, and I was like, pocket door it is.
Yeah.
We'll keep it, you know. And now like it's so nice actually.
Yeah.
To have that door, you know. So, but there was just like, this house ended up being exactly what I had wanted. It wasn't in the area I envisioned or necessarily like the
But
layout and how small it was.
You're close to me,
But,
though.
right. Well, and then like the same thing with working, finding the job there was I'd been going to the gym and I was kind of lonely because we'd moved here, but it was like middle of COVID. It was 2020, and so I didn't really have many friends. And the friends that I did have weren't married or weren't having kids, and they're like, oh, let's go do this, let's go do that. I'm like, I don't think that you guys realize, like, I have 2 kids at home that I have to take care of. Like, I can't be going out and doing a girls' night with you every Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Like, that's just not going to work for me and where we're at.
Yeah.
And we had some friends that they'd be like, hey, let's go to a haunted house, or like, we're going to go to a haunted house this night.
Please don't invite me to a haunted
I
house.
know. We're going to go with Jessica and Wayne.
Good.
But it would be, they'd be like, oh, we're going to go Thursday night at 10 p.m. And I'm like, I got 2 kids. Like, I can't ask a babysitter to come watch my kids from like 9 to midnight on a school night.
Yeah.
You know, so I had just been like praying for friends that were around my same, I didn't even say my same age, but I just said friends who are the same stage of life.
Good, because I am old. I'm decrepit. I'm rotting away.
Beautiful. You know, but I was like, I just want, like, I've just been praying for and looking for friends that were in the same stage of life as me, where they had kids, and the kids were around the same age as my kids, and not like teenagers and I have toddlers type thing.
I got them all.
She got both.
I got them all.
And so then I was like going to the gym pretty consistently, and then I asked Jessica, I was like, are there any jobs available? Because I kind of knew you, but not really.
I had met you, I think, like, I'd seen you come into the gym
Yeah.
a couple of times, but I was working the evenings and you always came in during the day.
Right. Well, and you texted me like one time and be like, Oliver poop.
I know, and it's like, put your name in my phone because we have iPhones.
Yeah, and then it was like, maybe Ashley.
I know, like, suggested contact, and I was like, yeah, I'm not saving this.
Yeah, right? I was like, I don't need to save that.
I'm like, nah, it's fine.
But then I like asked Jessica, who's our manager, I was like, are you hiring for any positions? And she goes, well, I work Saturday mornings if you want to take my Saturday mornings. And I was like, oh, that would be perfect. My husband works in the temple on Saturdays. Like, I could totally do that. We'd be done at the same time. And she goes, okay. And then it was like the next day, my husband goes, oh, I told him, oh, I got this job. We'll get a free membership stuff. And he goes, I'm switching to Tuesday nights. And I was like, okay. And he goes, so, like, I'd prefer if you didn't work Saturdays, just because if we wanted to go away for the weekend or stuff, like, it's harder to do type thing.
Yeah.
And so then I went back and talked to Jessica, and she goes, we actually just had somebody quit. We're looking for somebody Wednesday night. And she goes, I can't do it because my kids. I know. Same. She goes, but I can't do it Wednesday nights because, like, my kids have tumbling and stuff. And I was like, Bryne goes here at meds. I'm alone Wednesday nights anyway. And then it worked out. And then,
yeah.
And then, but I only worked with one person, and she was a teenager. And then the spots opened up to work in the morning. And then that's like, and then that's when we became besties.
I work like every day.
Every day, but then that's when I really got to know you and like Willie and Elena and Jessica and stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, friends!
No.
And then all of our kids became friends, and we go to each other's birthday parties.
Every
Ashley
year.
practically lives here.
I do. I'm here all the time. I was like driving home yesterday. I was like, what can I do today when I get home so I don't have to be home all day? I slept for 3 hours involuntarily. I was like doing laundry, and I was like, I'm just gonna like lay down and kind of like watch a movie.
Literally what happened. I was like, all right.
And then Eric is like, it's almost 8 o'clock. I'm going to work, and I was like, what?
You're like, say it one more time to my face.
I was like, wait, what? I look at my phone. It was 7:45. I was like,
jeez.
Ooh. I fell asleep at like 4 or something.
Dang.
I was like, my bad.
Yeah. But I think, like, what you're saying, though, about, like, you have to be willing to put in the work for it, though.
Yeah, it's not like you just ask for it, boom, you have it.
Right. I don't know. I feel like sometimes, like, especially with like the current generation and stuff, that people are really, like, a lot of people don't really put in the work to do stuff. It's all like everything's become like participation trophies or stuff, you know, and a lot of people just expect
Do
stuff
I
to
get a
be given.
participation trophy for life? Like, I'm participating in that. I don't want to, but I am. Where's my trophy?
Oh, but like you just need to put in the work. But I think sometimes like what you were saying, you have to be willing to give things up and like get out of your comfort zone. I feel like sometimes it's really, really hard to do that.
It is.
And it's hard to
the
see
hardest.
like how going down that path is going to lead to what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just like, yeah, I really want to do that.
But I don't know, I'm a very anxious person, so like
Right.
going out of my comfort zone
It's so hard
to like change things is the hardest thing ever.
Well, especially when it's like so unknown. You know, like sometimes when it's like
no.
I know, so it's the Panic at the Disco version. But I guess especially hard when you just don't see like how it's going to work out, because you know there's some things that like I don't know. But like when we bought this house, like we didn't know if it was gonna work out because it took so many months. Like we decided in March we would buy it. We didn't even move in until July because it was like,
Yeah.
is this like, we felt like we should buy this house. It was exactly what we wanted type thing. It was the price we wanted. But then it was like no work was getting done. And then we were helping do some of the work, and we had some, Bryne, it had been for Father's Day, he's like, well, if we're going to buy a house, I'm going to need tools to fix it. So we got him brand new tools on a Father's Day sale and stuff at like Lowe's or Home Depot or something. We left them here at the house once, like one night, because we're like, oh, we'll be back tomorrow. Well, somebody who had worked on the house or whatever ended up stealing the tools. Nobody ever fessed up to it, so they ended up getting like replaced by people.
Company or whatever.
No, I just don't want to get into specifics.
Oh.
No, it's just like, I don't know. I just feel like sometimes it's hard, but there's this saying that Tony Robbins says, and we've done like a lot of Tony Robbins events, and they do like a lot of manifesting stuff at their events. But something that he always says is, where focus goes, energy flows.
That's a good one.
It is a good one. And so it's like, what you're focusing on, that's where all your energy is going to. You know, and it's like that same thing where if you're like looking at a new car and you're like, oh, I want a blue Chevy 4-door truck, then suddenly that's what you see everywhere. But it's like, you know, what you focus on is what you're gonna go. But like something that Bryne and I talked about this weekend was like, his stomach's really been bothering him, and I was like, you know, is it like an ulcer because you're stressed? And he was like, no, like I don't think it's that. And then we were talking about it.
Dude, how do I not have those?
Your stomach lining is strong from all the drugs. I'm just kidding.
First of all, I've never done drugs. Second of all, like my stomach can't even like process protein without me being like, ugh.
This is true.
I'm just vomiting everywhere. So
We'll just pump it straight in. Steak. Into your blood. Anyway. No, so like, then we were just talking, and he was like, no, I don't feel stressed, like nervous or anxious, because he was like, I don't really like change, and we're talking about getting a dog, and we have all these other things that we've been talking about and are like looking to do, and with our family and stuff, or all these
I just wanted to
all these, you know, like there's just some changes
how you gave us googly eyes.
I know, that we've been doing, and so he's been just like getting nervous about it. But it's like, if you don't, you can manifest all you want, but if you're not gonna put in the time or the energy,
Yeah, like you can't
or the work to do it,
you
it's
can't
not
say
gonna
that
happen.
you want it and then have doubts for it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for like my dream house, I didn't get into like very like, I'll be like at least 4 to 5 bedrooms. It
Right.
has to have a massive kitchen because I love baking and cooking.
And yeah, you
My
need a big
kitchen,
kitchen.
Isn't the big enough, like biggest kitchen for
Right.
like the type of baking and stuff that I do, because I do it at a pretty big scale. It's
Yeah.
not just like, here's some like cookie dough
Right.
from the store and it goes in the oven. I'm talking like I have my KitchenAid mixer. I'm getting all the things. It takes
Right.
Hours.
Yeah. 'Cause
Hours and
everything's
hours.
from scratch. Yeah.
And so if I had a bigger space for that, and then I want a big backyard for my kids.
Yeah.
You know, like those are the important things to me. Is like one, that each of my kids have their own room. I have a big enough kitchen for like all of my baking and cooking, and then they have a big backyard to play in.
Right.
But I'm willing to move out of Utah to have that, because Utah
Right.
is so expensive that I'm not gonna say I could never afford that, because that's just negative thinking and whatnot. I could one day. Just
Yes.
At the time being, I cannot. And
Yes.
so I'm willing to move out of Utah,
Right.
and even like out of this area of the U.S. to somewhere else where I can afford it. That freaked me out, because I just see something coming
Like-
like over there. I was like, what's happening? So it's like things like that. Like this is something that I want, and this is what I'm willing to give up to get
Right.
it. So, you know, but a lot of the times too, it's like the timing has to, for me, the timing has to be right with the alignment of the planets. The phase of the moon. Is this
Right.
a good time to manifest things? If I manifest this, what are the outcomes from whatever like retrograde we're in right now? We got like 20 planets in retrograde, my dudes. Better hold on to your pants, because life is crazy right now, okay? I'm not gonna get in all that. But when it comes to my manifesting, everything has to be in alignment, so that everything is like where it's supposed to be. Sorry guys, the hood has to come off. I'm getting bullied to putting my bow back on. Wait, hold on. There we go.
My God.
Isn't it so great to be friends with me? There we go. I am disgusting. Savian used to wear like headbands like this. Hold on. Pause on my rant on the universe. Okay, so I even have on like my fake hipster glasses. Okay, you got it. The swoop, right? I usually just do like regular headbands. This is like my freshman year of high school. Then we do headbands like this.
Right. Yes.
And then like the poof and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'd be like,
That was totally the style,
I
though.
was such a lame scene kid. For sure, maybe. For sure, not. No, that song's so nice. Anyways, I feel like I'm just gonna finish the podcast out like this.
Please do.
Look at me. I'm 16 again.
Where's your
I feel
friend
like
Billy?
14.
Oh.
Ooh. I have a food baby. From all
You
those
can't even
nachos.
see it. It's like flat down from your boobs.
I like, let me poke it out
No,
loud.
but literally, it's like, like straight down. There's not even like a divot. It's
Wait.
just like,
Oh, what bra do I have on today?
no bra.
No, I do have on one. It just has like this much padding in it. So there's no help there. Nothing. I like literally almost every episode we do, we talk about my lack of boobs.
We do.
Okay, we're starting a GoFundMe to buy me new boobs.
They're me size F.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. I had double D's. I don't want to be nothing more than like a good C. You know what I mean?
You're like, let me just feel all of them.
I know. I can picture.
Like, I'm manifesting the C cup. I'm waiting for my body to grow them. It's not working. You're like, I'm doing the exercises. I'm working on chest. Where are they? Where are they?
I don't do chest very often.
No, that's why you don't have good boobs. Okay, continue talking about the universe and.
Oh, well, it all has to be right in alignment,
Right.
or I won't do it. Like, we just had the big super blue moon.
Yes, we
But-
went outside and saw it.
So did
So we're
I.
laying in bed. I'm reading, obviously. Brian's on TikTok all of a sudden.
Obviously.
And all of a sudden, I'm just laying there. And all of a sudden, he gets up. I'm like, what the heck? And I hear his glasses case open, and I hear the sound. I'm like, are you putting your glasses on? He goes, yes. He starts walking out of the room. I thought he was putting his glasses on to lay and look at his phone. I was like, Brian, your prescription is like negative 1.5. You don't need your glasses to read your phone. And then he just like walks outside. I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, there's a super blue moon tonight. I'm like, okay. So he's out there taking pictures on his phone, but he just didn't even say anything. He just like gets up and starts leaving. And
See,
I'm like,
I am so
what
geeked for that
about me?
stuff. There's like a meteor shower. I got up to
Right?
watch the
Yes,
meteor
you
shower
did.
like 4 in the morning. I'm like, what do you mean? Of course I'm getting up to watch rocks fall
You're like,
from the sky.
make a wish, make a wish, make a wish, make a wish. I think it's interesting too, though, like how different people manifest. Like my parents have some friends.
Are they crazy like me?
No,
Are
they're
they also sitting in your
interesting.
living room wearing a bow made
No,
for a
no.
toddler?
But what they went to like a conference or something once, and they came back home, and then they bought all of these like swords, like legit full on swords, and then no, like swords.
I'll tell you my dagger thing. You finish it.
And then they, but so they started doing this where they would like hold them, and then they would do like positive affirmations and stuff. But then they would write down like any negative feelings on a piece of paper, and then they would burn it. And then they would write down 5 things they wanted to happen, or that they were like working towards making happen within like the next 6 to 12 months. And then they would also burn that paper. And they'd do this like once a month or once a week or something. Then they would get together all as a family with all their kids, and they would do this.
Okay. So what you're telling me is now I need a sword?
A sword and a fire. I have a fire pit. You come to a fire pit.
Okay,
Mine.
I've seen people where they write their manifestations down on like a basil leaf, and then they will burn that.
Understand? Then they would eat it. They're just like, they're carving a basil leaf with a toothpick. New home. Baby. New job.
Not the baby swallowing baby.
What did you say?
When I'm at work and I'm saying, look, I swaddled a baby, and you guys are like, did you just say you swallowed a baby? And I'm like, dude, if I was better at that, I wouldn't have so many.
Right? What did you actually say?
Swaddle.
No.
Oh.
What do they write it on?
A basil leaf. Like, you can, but like, I don't want to go buy basil leaves. Because you can do that and then burn it, but I do like...
Well, I thought maybe I heard you wrong and you didn't actually say basil leaf.
No, I did.
And I was like...
You said baby, and then you ate it, and that was like, that reminded me of that thing at work, where you guys thought I was saying swallowing babies. And I mentioned that joke to Jessica, where I was like, if I was good at that, I wouldn't have so many, but I was like,
Yes.
You're not my boss right now, so you can't fire me. But... yeah, no, like, before I had my letters to the universe, I would, like, write all my manifestations down. And then I also tell the universe, like, everything that I'm grateful for.
Yes.
That I have currently, and like, thanks in advance for what I'm about to get.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, like, I think a little real moment here. We're gonna get a little deep. My past was shit. Okay, I had a traumatic childhood.
Yes.
But I take all of that and I don't see it as a negative thing. I think about, like, look where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Look where all of that led me. Look what it's taught me. It's taught me how to be a better mom. It's taught me how to be a better person.
Yes.
I took all of that negative thing, like, thinking about, like, how, like, where my life was as a child and to, like, where I am now, how much I've grown, how much I have. Like, somebody might, like, be like, oh, but, like, you don't own a home. Like, you live in a 3-bedroom apartment. You have 3 kids, whatever. But I'm like, compared to what I had as a kid,
yes,
infinitely.
There
we go. Better.
Right.
You know, so, like, I had to go through a lot of hard times, but it just makes me so grateful for everything I have now.
Right.
Because, like, it's better than what I had as a kid.
Yeah.
And, like, my kids might be like, man, my life sucks. And I'm like, you guys
You
don't even know. I'm like, you guys have had so many more life experiences.
Yes.
And, like, and Evan alone, my oldest is 13. In his 13 years of life, he's had more life experiences than I had. I was 13 the first time we went to a zoo.
Oh.
Evan was 4.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I think, like,
birthday.
like, I didn't have the easiest time growing up either.
Are you the no?
But I am the oldest.
You are
I'm the oldest. So when, like, our family was going through all their financial issues and stuff, like, I felt like there was more of a burden on me just because I understood, but also because I had a lot more responsibility than any of my siblings. Like, my sister and I are only 2 years apart, and then we have 2 younger brothers after that. But I felt like I was, like, 11 or 12 when my dad lost his job the first time. And so then it was like I really saw more of what was going on, you know, and, like, I mean, I think my mom watches this, so, but we've talked about this before.
Oh, no. Does she really?
Yes.
Raven!
No, she listens to it.
But why didn't you tell me? I just talked about swallowing babies.
Well, everyone does it, so.
Raven's mom, I'm so sorry.
So anyways.
I hope she still likes me.
She does. So anyways. Like, we've talked about this in the past now. But, like, my parents used to fight a lot when I was younger. And, like, it would get to the point where there was a time when my sister and I weren't sharing a room. But, like, my parents would fight a lot, and we would hear them, and she would end up coming into my room, and we would just, like, lay in the same bed, and we would just, like, cry. And we'd be like, if they get divorced, what's going to happen to us?
When
like,
my parents fought, and we were like, dude, if they get divorced, we're like, we're going with Dad.
Well,
we didn't even care. We're like, we're going with him.
Well, we were like...
Now I don't have a choice.
So, anyways.
Oh, we should have done that for a transition. Like, real talk.
You just dumped them all over Cow. Poor baby.
This is why we can have nice things.
Now we'll play that Taylor Swift song.
Because I exist. And
Alexa,
I am
play
chaos.
this one. We can't have nice things.
Hey, Alexa's
She's
not plugged in.
unplugged. I know she is. Anyways, like, I think we got... Ow! I think I just paper cut my finger on this. Anyways, so, like, we would fight. I mean, not we would fight. Like, they would fight, and we'd be like, who are we going to go with? Like, are we going to go with one? Are they going to split us up? Like, what, you know, is going to happen to us type thing? And we were really nervous about it. But then... let me just set that down for you. But then...
Fine.
Like, when my dad lost his job, that really is, like, what brought my parents together. That's when they started going to, like, couples therapy and stuff.
That's always good.
And, yeah. And whatever. But there was that first year that he had lost his job. He lost in, like, the springtime or whatever. And by the time winter came and it was Christmas, like, things were real rough.
Yeah.
Right? And there... Did I already tell you all this? I don't know.
Probably.
But
We talked about
this
that
is
with
probably the
them.
most realist, like, podcast episode we've done.
And yet I'm still cracking jokes. I can't take
Okay.
life seriously.
Right. But, like, so we, that Christmas, my parents were like, we're probably only going to have, like, one gift each under the Christmas tree. Like, what is the one thing you really want? And I had one thing I really wanted, but I didn't want to ask for it because I knew it was going to be more expensive. And I didn't want, at like 11 or 12, I didn't want my parents to feel bad if the thing that I wanted was over what they could afford to buy for us.
Yeah.
Because it was going to be like stockings and one gift under the tree type thing. And I was like, well, I don't want them to feel bad or feel like they need to get me this gift that I really want and they get my siblings like something else, you know?
Yeah.
But we were I was helping set up Christmas stuff that, like, night. And I was like, this sucks. Like, this is the saddest Christmas, you know? Like, last year we had all this nice stuff. And, you know, because my dad made pretty decent money before he got laid off. But, I mean, this was, like 2009, 2010. So it was, like, still bottom of the
Recession.
economy and the
Yeah.
recession stuff. And then that night, we're, like, getting stuff ready. And there was a knock at our front door. And it was all these people from our ward and our neighborhood who knew us and knew what was going on. And they had brought, like, 4 or 5 trash bags just of gifts for the whole family. And one of them had brought, like, and then I was like, oh my gosh, like, who does that, you know? Like, who spends the, and now I'll probably cry because I cry every time I talk about it, but, like, who spends their Christmas,
I was like, do it.
well, I was like,
Somebody has to.
who spends their Christmas money and, like, Christmas Eve night going out and, like, helping others and stuff, you know? And then we opened the presents Christmas Day, and the gift that I really wanted was under the tree, and it was one of these people from our ward.
What was it?
It was the Hunger Games box set. That's what it
Yeah,
was.
it is
That's why it's,
that.
like, so near and dear to me.
And you let me borrow
And I
it.
let you borrow it because I love you.
But I took off the dust jackets because
well, I was like, she won't ruin these, so. But, you know, like, then, like, because of that, like, we then, a couple years later, when one of our really good friends, my mom's really good friend, and I was, like, friends with their sons, we all were, her husband ended up leaving, and it was this really bad divorce. We ended up doing, like, the 12 days of Christmas for them, and so we'd all decided to, like, forego gifts so we could help them out, you know, and I feel
Yeah.
like that is something that, like, has stuck with me into adulthood, where it's like, oh, you had a baby, like, let me make you some dinner, or, like, let me watch your kids, or, like, your mom died, I was like, I can't really, like, do anything for you, but here's some bagels.
Yeah.
You know, like,
that was a great time. I think we already mentioned it on the podcast, but I was like asleep, and it was like 8 a.m, and that's
it was because I had to get to work. 'Cause
Yeah.
I took your shift.
And Eric comes into our room, and he's like, Raven's here, and she has bagels, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot she was coming and bringing me bagels. I was up super late, just like
Right.
I sat on my floor in my kitchen and cried for like an hour and a half.
As you ate cheesy tater tots.
No. I like went into my kitchen to do something, and I just like collapsed and was just crying. Like because I was just up that whole night. I was like, I can't freaking sleep. Everything, none of it felt real. But like, I'm fine now. By the way,
She's fine.
I'm good. It was,
Emotionally stunted and scarred, but fine.
but now I have this bracelet that says
She's dead.
It's a reminder of my mom. Just kidding. It's from the Taylor Swift concert.
I was like, that's real dark. But you know, like you said, it just makes you, like, all the shitty stuff that happened as a kid, more aware or stuff, or just like more grateful that, like, you know, we do have a house. Like, my kids are healthy. You know, like, no matter what struggles or trials or whatever you want to call it, hardships come, that it's like there is way more to be grateful for than there is to, like, complain about, you know. But it's totally about, like, mindset too. Like, you're either, that's another thing that Tony Robbins says.
Shout out to you, Tony Robbins.
Woo! You'll never see this, but
you don't know. That's negative thinking.
sorry, take it back.
You will see this one day.
But you know,
Raven's a big fan.
Big fan. I've seen you in person before.
In person.
But, you know, he says you can either focus on what you have or what you don't have, or what you can control or what you can't control. And then you can either focus on, like, the past, the present, or the future. And when you're focusing on what you don't have, what you can't control, what's happened in the past, that's, like, when you're miserable.
Yeah.
But if you focus on, like, what you have and you're grateful for it, and you just focus on what is within your control, and either, like, what's going on now in your present and around you, or, like, the future and what you're looking forward to, like, you'll live a much more fulfilled life. And, like, it all comes back to gratitude and just being grateful. You know?
And like I said, like, I used to always just think about how crappy things were. Like, my childhood sucked and all of this stuff. But then, like, I started to think, but like, yeah, it sucked, but, like, look where I am now. Like, my life is so much better, and my kid's life is a lot better than, like, what I had. And I'm like, so I don't own a house, and I, like, don't make millions of dollars or whatever, but, like, my kids have had so many, like, life experiences. Like, we've done so many little things, like our trip to Colorado. That's my kid's first time, like, going out of state, right? And I'm, like, geeked out the whole time. I'm like, guys, isn't this so cool? Like, are you guys excited? They're just on their freaking phones and their iPad. They're like, I'm like, guys, look at, there's a train, and they're like, mountain. I was like, guys, look at this really cool, like, canyon we're gonna drive through. So it's like I don't know how to explain it. It was really cool looking. I should have taken a picture, but, like, I'm, like, geeked out over that stuff. And they're like, we don't care, Mom. They're like, okay. I'm like, guys, look how cool the clouds look right now.
Like cotton candy clouds.
And it was like this mist, like fog, and I was like, it looks so cool. I took a picture, but the picture doesn't do it justice. But I like how we're getting real serious, and this is what I look like.
I know, that's okay.
But yeah, like, I totally believe in, like, gratitude. Like, I feel like the more things that I've also, like, thought about, like, being grateful for, I just find more and more things to be grateful for. Like, I'm grateful for, like, this, like, I don't want to say stupid little things because they're not stupid.
I thought you were going to say the snow, and I was like, it hasn't snowed yet.
That is not something I'm grateful for. When it snows, I'm like, I'm grateful that, like, my heater works. You know, it's, like, silly things like that. Like, I'm grateful, like, that I have, like, clean running water. Because there are places that don't. Like, what, I think it was, like, Mississippi, like, what, last year or something, like, they're experiencing the same thing as Flint, Michigan, where those people don't have that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm lucky that I do. It's something that people, like, it's little things like that that you have every day that people don't think of, and they're taking it for granted. I'm like, I'm grateful for, like, the nice things that I own. Like, I have some, like nice things that I've spent, like, extra money on that I'm like, I'm grateful. Like, my laptop, that was a very big, bougie, expensive thing, and I don't like to spend, like, make big purchases like that, because it stresses me out. I'm like, this is so much money. But, like I'm grateful that I have that, and I'm grateful for, like, all the, like little things like that in my life.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's, like, maybe silly to some people, but I'm
But
just
it's so important, though. Like,
yeah.
And I took when I was a sophomore in high school, I did, like, a full year of yoga because I thought if I did that, I wouldn't have to take sophomore PE, which then I had to take as a senior. But
we mentioned that in, like, 2 of the other episodes.
But when we were doing that, our yoga teacher, she would, at the beginning of every class, we would have to write down 5 things we were grateful for. We each had to bring a gratitude journal and stuff. But we had to write down 5 things we were grateful for, and you couldn't. And I mean, class was like every other day, right? Because we had an A-day and B-day schedule. And we would have to, you wouldn't be able to repeat something. So if you put, like, my dog on Monday, you wouldn't be able to write my dog for, like, 5 class sessions. So then on the 6th one, you could. So then you're listing, like, 25 new things every, like, 5 classes type thing. And that was really cool because then I was, like, thinking about all these things that I was grateful for that you know, you don't really think about all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and, like, I don't know, like, as I've gotten older, I feel like there's certain things now, just because I understand more, or, you know, like, my beliefs are stronger, stuff, and God, or whatever, but, and I don't know if, like, my sister serving in the military had something to do with it, but I've just gotten, like, more grateful every year for those who do go serve in the military, because, like, we call them our godmother and our uncle, but they're just, like, really, really close family friends.
Yeah.
And, like, he served in the military for several years, and he had, like, several, like, near-death experiences.
I thought you were going to say several children.
Several children. I mean, they do have 5 children. But he had, like, several experiences where, like, he would be, like, helping work on computers, and then they would get a call that there were, like, missiles inbound, and then they would all have to, like, lay on the floors like the missiles are going overhead. I don't know. And then, also Tony Robbins. Like, his events and stuff, you know, he just makes an emphasis that, like, in America, we have the freedoms that we have because of those who have paid for it, like, with their lives, that we didn't have to do. You know, I think that's something that I've become more grateful of over the last couple years, is that, like, I didn't have to do it. Bryne didn't have to. I don't have any, like, immediate family members. I mean, I have Uncle Sean, but, you know, that have had to do it. But there's, like, a lot of things that we get, especially living in America, that other places don't have, you know, like,
yeah.
I mean, I know, like, our country's getting real political, and there's, like, a lot of riots, or, you know, but, like, we have freedom of speech that a lot of other countries don't, even if that's all, like, sometimes causes a lot of chaos between everybody.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things that we have that I feel like it can be really easy to take for granted. Like you were saying, like, clean running water, or, like, electricity and stuff, you know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I know this was, like,
a little different than what we.
Yeah, it's a bit, like, heavier. I'm still gonna crack jokes because I don't know how to, like, you know, be serious, because, you know, if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
Right.
They said that's because you do coke, and I was like, well, maybe.
Because she does cocaine. Odd stuff. Like,
that's the real reason I had a septoplasty. I did too much coke and my nose collapsed.
They're like, it's just clogged clear up here. We gotta clear it out.
Yeah.
They just blow it out from the other side with a straw. Just
Oh no. I
What
don't
a
actually do drugs, you guys. I know it looks like I do. I don't. I just am
Fun out.
very unhinged.
But that's why this works for us.
It
like,
is.
Seriously.
But I think you should go listen to it if you are, like, somebody that likes like self-help
Right.
books. I'm not a huge self-help book kind of a gal.
I'm getting more into them.
But I did like this one. But again, it lines up with, like, gratitude and manifesting, and those are things that I do every day. So I really liked it. I know this was, like, a weird episode.
I liked it too. This was actually one that we picked Well, not we picked. That Holly, our friend, picked
For book club.
for book club.
And we don't usually do book club books. Well, we did Ready Player One.
We did Ready Player One. We did ACOTAR. That was a book club one.
Yeah, but like that was a series and it didn't get continued throughout book club. And
Yeah,
Othello
that's
just
fair.
a good book.
That's the end. That's all, folks.
That's what Curtis Connor does in his book. He'll be like, folks. Anyways, no, for realsies, we're gonna go because it's 8 o'clock. Thank you. Anyways, we're gonna go. I gotta go play Pokeball.
Bocce ball.
Bocce ball.
Pokeball. What?
Stop.
Never mind.
Pokemon. Pokeballs?
I don't do that.
Okay, well, guess you're not as cool as me.
Much cooler, actually.
Anyways, we will see you guys next week with
6